Hello everyone and welcome to the National Championship. UConn has made it the whole way to the final game of the college football season, and they'll face off against the Georgia Bulldogs, the top dog in college football, one of the best recruiters in the country, and with one of the best teams in the country. This is easily the biggest test UConn has ever faced. Can they come away champions, or will they fall just short? UConn will start with the football, and we are underway in Glendale, Arizona, as Terry Overhauser will take the return here, finding a small seam but going down at the right hash on the 24. And that is where John Pelshak and the UConn offense will take over. This Georgia D-line is the best UConn has ever faced, and I anticipate it will be hard to run the football, but that's where we're going to start today as Tobin gets a carry. But there is immediately a flag down as the right tackle, Frank Davis, holds. Makes it a 1st and 20 instead, and we start from our own 14. Pelshak hands off Cadet, and getting run over is Dexter Ort. Zach McCrary making the tackle for loss. 2nd and 20 for the UConn offense. So we look to throw with John Pelshak. This gets to Terry Overhauser, trying to bounce this to the left, brought down shy of the marker at the 31. Terry Overhauser has really been a playoff riser so far during the games we have had. Let's see if that continues. 3rd and 3, Pelshak to throw, and down he goes as it falls incomplete. He was under pressure near immediately off the blitz, and UConn will punt it away. So here comes Callum Brink and the Georgia offense for the first time today. 1st and 10 from their own 32 is where they start. Brink under pressure from Kevin October, finding his man Randy Radovich. Couldn't keep up. That's Carl Stanford on the reception. They're already up to the 48 with a 1st down. Brink will send his man in motion to the right and then throw quickly. That one is caught by the tight end, Jeff McHugh. Just like the D-line being the best we've ever faced, this is also probably the best O-line we have ever faced, as this is going to be a carry for Andy Fullen, and he's got a 1st down into UConn territory. No issues driving so far for the Bulldogs. From the 37, a 1st and 10. Fake handoff and then deflected by A.J. Hepburn. 2nd down from the 37. 8.5 left to play in the first quarter. Brink over the middle, overshoots his man. That was Carl Stanford, the intended receiver. 3rd and 10 after the miscue. Brink to throw, scrambling to his left side. He is very fast, hits a spin move on Santos and falls forward for the 1st. It's definitely something you got to be worried about with Callum Brink. He is very quick. 1st and 10 at the 24 now. So they set up the running back screen, good blocking, and it's going to be another 1st down for the Bulldogs. Up to the 10, it's 1st and 10. Somehow not considered 1st and goal from the 10, despite the goal line being the line to gain. Brink, all kinds of time, and finding his target. Touchdown, Georgia. Walt Fine, the wide receiver one, is the man who strikes first. Georgia finds 6, and they made that drive look pretty easy, giving Callum Brink plenty of time to throw. It is not going to be easy to beat this Georgia team if we can manage to do so. UConn takes back over. This will be a handoff to Max Cadet, and he will pick up 4. 2nd down and 6. Tobin now the back. He will get the carry, and he's laid out short of the 1st. 3rd and 2 from the 33. Cadet the back. Cadet will get the carry, burst of speed through the middle for Max Cadet, and a 1st down. At the 43 now, Pelshak will look to throw, and he wants Dorian Tobin open down the field, and he's into Georgia territory with that reception. Tobin moves to the backfield now from the 38, and he will get a carry. Block's not held very long, so he only gets 3. Big 3rd down here as Pelshak looks to throw, and he's got Dorian Tobin, makes the grab, but he fumbles the football, forced out there by the Georgia defender, and they will take over. That one is clear as day. He was not yet on the ground. He had the 1st down yardage, but then has the ball forced out. And this Georgia defense is forcing turnovers already. A good drive for UConn stalls out due to the turnover. First and 10, Georgia, as they take over from their own 36 now due to the Dorian Tobin fumble. Callum Brink out of the shotgun, fakes the handoff, looks to throw, has all kinds of time, finding his man, it's Carl Stanford, and he's up into Yukon territory. All Georgia so far in this one. 3.5 left to play in the first. And it's a first and 10 at the Yukon 42. And it's a handoff to Fullen, and he's going to get about 10 yards just short of the first. On 2nd and inches, Antonio Bouchard is the back. And down goes Brink. He fumbles the football. It's picked up by A.J. Hepburn. There's nobody in front of A.J. He's to the 10. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Yukon. Each team with a fumble, but us with a touchdown to go with it. Yukon gonna tie this game thanks to the defense. I did not see who forced the fumble. It's Addison Biggs and Kevin October combining for the sack, and A.J. Hepburn with the return. What a game it's been so far. So just like that, it is knotted up at 7 thanks to a defensive fumble and touchdown return. 2nd and 11 after the loss. Andy Fullen checks back in. Brink under pressure from Joey Terrell, but checks this down to Fullen. Brought down by Joshua Dora, and it's 3rd down. From the 17, Brink on 3rd down. Looks to throw. And has a man downfield, but misses the mark, overthrowing his target by a step. He was looking for Walt Fine. It was pretty good coverage by Santos. No guarantee that is completed, but the overthrow guarantees a punt. 7-7 the score as Yukon takes over from their own 36. Tobin, the man who fumbled, he will immediately get the football again and pick up 4. On 2nd down, Pelshak will look to pass. Takes the check down to Tobin. A little bit of room to run afterwards, and he gets a 1st down. 2nd quarter underway now. 1st and 10 for Yukon. So we take the check down to Terry Overhauser, and that's only good for a couple yards. Obviously, with this defensive line, you got to be worried about pressure getting through. On 2nd and 8, it's a carry for Max Cadet. There is nowhere to go. 3rd and long for Pelshak and the offense. He's back to pass. Blitz on its way. Gets this one off to Dalton Schmizniak for a 1st. Good job by Pelshak there, staying strong in the face of all that pressure. Leads his team to a 1st down. And Cadet will get a carry here and falls down with a pickup of 4. 2nd and 6, Cadet still the back, and Cadet will get another carry and only finds a yard. So another 3rd and medium coming up for the Huskies. Pelshak by himself in the backfield will look to throw. He has Dorian Tobin, and he will get the 1st, and there is an injured Bulldog on the play. 9 minutes left in the half. Tobin will get the carry, nowhere to go. Georgia run defense has been elite as expected, as Pelshak gets this to Overhauser, and he fights forward for a 1st. From the 18, fresh set of downs. Max Cadet gets the carry, nowhere to go again for Max. A one-dimensional offense we've been turned into so far today. From the 19, back to pass again. This one also goes to Terry Overhauser. He's down at the 10, making it a 3rd and short. 3rd and 2 from the 10. So we'll look to throw. And Pelshak runs out of time, forcing the 4th down. He wanted Madu, but he held on to it instead and then couldn't get it off. That brings on Tyreek Hollis for a field goal attempt. Kick is on its way and through. 10-7, Yukon has their 1st lead of the national championship. That was a very long drive for Yukon as well. It ate up almost half of the 2nd quarter. 1st and 10, Georgia, starting from their own 14, and it's a handoff to Fullen. Nowhere to go. Addison Biggs and Dennis Colin are right there. 6 minutes to go until halftime. 2nd and 11 after the loss. Brink will throw left side, and that is incomplete. Forced out of Walt Fine's hands by Jamie Santos. From the 14, Brink running out of time. McNulty is back there. That is a completed pass to Walt Fine, but it is short of the marker. Georgia will go 3 and out. Yukon currently winning the field position battle, but have had no ability to run the ball so far today. Cadet finally gets a pretty good one to the outside for Max Cadet. A big pickup for the junior halfback up to the 32 of Georgia. Best carry of the day for UConn, as now it's an empty set for Pelshak. So he will go to the air, and he wants Terry Overhauser further down the field and finds the man on the corner route. The Pelshak to Overhauser connection has really blossomed here in the playoffs. Only 4 minutes left in the half. As Max Cadet going to get a carry here. Not much there for Max. UConn now comes out in the Wildcat. Tobin is the quarterback. And he'll bring Max Cadet in motion. And from the 10, Dorian Tobin on the carry. And there was only one man to beat, but he got there too fast. This red zone defense from Georgia surely is fierce. Pelshak will look to throw. He wants Tevin Madu. There is a flag down. And it's on a Georgia defender. It's roughing the passer. And it's going to be a first and goal for the Huskies. Very fortunate for UConn as they get bailed out by a bad penalty. On first and goal, Cadet comes over in motion. He will get the carry. One man to beat. He stiff arms him, but he's brought down from behind at the 2. UConn comes out in the Wildcat again past the 2-minute timeout. Max Cadet, the man getting the carry, and he is untouched into the end zone. UConn will extend the lead to 2 possessions. Max Cadet coming alive a little bit here on this possession. And he gets 6 to cap it off. UConn, after the PAT, will have a 17-7 lead late in the first half. 2-minute drill with all 3 timeouts for the Bulldogs. What will Callum Brink have in store for them? Scrambling to the left side now. It looks like he's going to take off to run, and he slides down at the 20. Makes it a 2nd and 5, only about 90 seconds left in the half. Brink throwing over the middle, up the seam, has his tight end for a big pickup, and they're near midfield. So a 1st and 10 at their own 48. About to cross over to the UConn side of the field, and over the middle they have a man, Joshua Dora, bringing down Keenan Rochelle. A minute left to play now for Brink and the Georgia offense. As he takes this check down over the middle to the tight end, and they'll burn their first timeout. 56 seconds. Brink to pass, of course. Man, over the middle, George Kiki gets beat, broken tackle, touchdown, Bulldogs. And that was a very quick drive for Georgia. That's Emmanuel Zenner on the reception, and on the touchdown, George Kiki getting burnt here in the national championship. And Georgia gets back within 3. They did leave a pretty decent amount of time on the clock, however, as it's a 1st and 10 for UConn. 49 seconds in all of their timeouts. Big blitz being sent from Georgia. This throw is to Max Cadet on the screen. There's nobody in front of Max Cadet. Runs over one defender, and he's down at the enemy 35. We burn our first timeout after the huge pickup on the screen. 1st and 10 from the 35 as Pelshak will throw. Gets it out quickly to Tevin Madu, and it doesn't gain much. We'll go to the hurry up. 30 seconds left to play. Pelshak will throw again, and he'll just take the easy check down to Tevin Madu, although it continues to not gain much. 3rd and 1, 23 seconds from the Georgia 25. Pelshak to throw. He wants Dorian Tobin. It's knocked out of his hands late. And on 4th and 1, they're wanting us to go for this. I think against a team like Georgia, you take points where you can get them. Who knows how often we'll be down here in this situation. Tyreek Hall is on for the kick. It is on its way, and it is good inside that right upright. So 3 more for UConn. We'll see if that comes back to bite us later. So we head to the half. UConn up by 6, but it still feels like it's anyone's game at this point. UConn really only with the lead due to the fumble 6 in the first quarter. The time of possession, however, has been dominated by the Huskies. 2 more quarters of football left to be played for all of these seniors. Everything on the line. Callum Brink will look to throw on the first play, and he's actually going to step up to scramble, sliding in front of Joey Terrell. Pickup of 8 for Brink. Now they're at the 23 with a 2nd and 2, bringing a man in motion. That's Andy Fullen in the backfield. He will not get the carry. Brink hit by Kevin October as he throws, and it falls incomplete. So now a 3rd down for the Bulldogs. Brink will throw on the RPO. It's completed to Walt Fine, who breaks a tackle but then is brought down by Santos. So a fresh set of downs at the 41 now. Fullen will get to the carry this time. Finds a lane and finds 8 yards. They haven't gone to the running game a ton, but it's worked pretty well when they have. On 2nd and 2, it's a throw over the middle, and that is completed from Callum Brink. This time it's Carl Stanford. Georgia driving down the field, no issues so far this drive. Tight end in motion, goes back to the right. And it's a play action. Brink hit as he throws. It's intercepted one-handed by Jamie Santos. You can't make it up. Santos gets a hand in there and snatches it away. And UConn's gonna take over where it looked like they were gonna give up points on that drive. What a play from Jamie Santos. Unless my eyes deceived me, I'm pretty sure this was a one-handed grab from Santos, and it is. That is nasty in front of Walt Fine. The senior corner looking to make his mark on the national championship, and so far he has. 1st and 10 Huskies as they take over. Tobin gonna try to bounce this to the outside using that top speed. He finds 8 yards. Out of the pistol, Cadet now the back on 2nd and 2. And Max will get the carry, but terrible blocking, loses 4 yards. Kevin Lambo in the backfield instantly. That's Frank Davis, the right tackle, giving up that TFL. Now it's a 3rd and 6 instead of a 3rd and short. Throwing is Pelshak finding Tobin, but it's knocked out of his hands, and UConn goes 3 and out after the turnover. I hope you weren't expecting it to be easy, because it was never going to be against a team like Georgia. 1st and 10 from their own 47. They have elite field position now, as they will hand this one off, but we're in the backfield immediately. It's the senior linebacker duo, Joey Terrell and Addison Biggs. 2nd and 13 after the loss. It's still Antonio Bouchard in the backfield. He will not get the carry as it's play action. Down goes Brink. It's Kevin October who's having himself a game so far. 3rd and 19 coming up. 3rd and forever for Georgia. From their own 38 as they've been backed up on back-to-back plays. Brink sends a man in motion and will look to throw, setting up a running back screen. Byler needs to make the tackle. Actually, he doesn't, because Kiki breaks off of his and makes the play, and now Georgia will punt. These two defenses going blow for blow. Likely going to be a slugfest the rest of the way. 6 minutes left in the 3rd. UConn with a 6-point lead. 1st and 10. Max Cadet on the carry has to bounce this back to the middle to pick up 4. It's a 2nd and 6, and Pelshak will look to throw. Just takes the throw easy over the middle to Terry Overhauser. With forward progress, he's a yard short of the 1st. 3rd and 1. Pelshak is back to pass. He wants Dan Sanders, and he holds on with the quick throw from John Pelshak. 1st and 10 for the Huskies. 4 minutes left in the 3rd. Tobin going to get the jet touch pass here. Finds a little bit of space to pick up a solid 8. 2nd and 2 now. Pelshak out of the shotgun. Is back to pass. He wants Tobin. Makes the grab and falls down in the center of the field. Dorian Tobin trying to make sure everybody forgot the fumble, as now it's a 1st and 10 off of his reception. UConn in Georgia territory. And this will be another throw. Tobin's direction. It's bobbled and incomplete. 2nd and 10. Pelshak drops back, stepping up, scrambling, and will go down after a short carry. And he's a little slow to get up after that. 3rd and 4 now for the Huskies, as Pelshak will look to throw again. And this one intercepted off of the tip. It did not have enough zip on it. And Georgia will take over. He had Dalton Schmizniak, but the throw was not nearly enough. And now he's coming limping off the field. Maybe after taking the tackle on the scramble, he just couldn't get enough power on the throw afterwards. I hope you like turnovers and punts, because that's all we're seeing right now in the second half, as both the defenses have adjusted. Brink, jet touch pass to Carl Stanford, finds a little bit of running room. Joshua Dora has to bring him down. Out of the shotgun now with Callum Brink at the 50. It's 2nd and inches. Fake handoff. Brink over the middle, diving man. It's Walt Fine on the reception. 1st and 10, Georgia in UConn territory. And it's a handoff, but we're in the backfield already. Kevin October continuing to have a really good day. From the Yukon 41 now. Brink fakes the handoff. Johnny McNulty with the pressure off his back foot. Brink finding his target anyway. What is Jamie Santos doing? He has the one-handed pick earlier, and now he lets this be a completion. It's the final quarter of action for the college football season. Georgia down by 6, but driving. Callum Brink sends a man in motion and then will hand it off. But in the backfield is the man himself, the captain, Joey Terrell. Makes it a 2nd and long for Georgia as they move the tight end in motion once again. And it's play action. Brink with all kinds of time to the corner. Incomplete. In and out of the hands of Walt Fine. 3rd down and 12. This is a big time 3rd down at this stage in the game. Brink, as he always seems to do, sends a man in motion. And then he will look to throw, but down he goes. Initial pressure from Clyde Novak and the sack from Addison Big Time Biggs. 4th and 17 for the Georgia Bulldogs. You gotta imagine they're settling for a field goal attempt. This makes it a 3-point lead for UConn if it is good. The Georgia kicker's kick on its way, and that is money. 20-17 in favor of the Huskies, but the offense has been struggling. Can UConn hold on to the slim lead they hold over the Bulldogs and become national champs here in year number 6? It remains to be seen as Tobin gets a carry and only gets 3. On 2nd and 7, Pelshak will throw. He wants Tevin Madu. He drops the football. Tevin Madu with a bad drop. On 3rd and 7 from the 28. Pelshak back to pass. Tobin left by himself down the field. He connects with him. Touchdown, UConn. Dorian Tobin up the seam, left by himself. They forgot about him. How can you forget about one of the best players in the country? He finished top 3 in Heisman voting for a reason. Dorian Tobin, the speedster, catches up with the ball from John Pelshak, and UConn is going to have a 2-possession lead here in the Natty. Georgia down by 10. Needs to score pretty quickly to keep this one alive. It's going to be a handoff to Fullen to start the drive. Breaks away from Addison Biggs and is brought down by Kiki. 2nd down and 3 for Callum Brink in the offense. And Brink hits his own lineman on the throw attempt, and it's a 3rd down. 3rd down and 3 from the 20. About 9 minutes left to play. It's a delayed handoff. Kiki's there, but Fullen has the first. Fresh set of downs. Some easier breathing for the Bulldogs. From the 26, Fullen on the carry, breaks a tackle, breaks 2 of them, and has 10 yards, just inches short of the 1st down. Now it's an empty set for Brink. 2nd and inches from the 35 as he, of course, looks to throw. Takes the little check down throw to Hunter Skukanik. I believe that is his first grab on the day. So they're moving down the field, but they are chipping away at the clock. 1st and 10 from their own 40. Brink under some pressure from Joey Terrell, scrambling to the left side, slides down in front of Johnny McNulty, and it's 2nd down. Under 7 minutes left in the season. 2nd down and 4. Brink throws quickly, finding Carl Stanford. 3rd and 1. Andy Fullen is the back on the 3rd and short. So they send the tight end in motion to the left. Brink will hand off Fullen, and we're right there. It's Dennis Colin in the backfield, forcing the TFL. Georgia is going for it. 4th down and 4. The national championship could very well come down to this. Callum Brink throwing over the middle, and it's not broken up by Joshua Dora. Hunter Skukanik holds on. A clutch throw from Callum Brink. I'd expect no less from the senior quarterback. 5 minutes to go. This is completed quickly for a pickup of 4. That is Emmanuel Zenner. They've burnt a lot of clock on this drive, though. 4.5 left to go in the game. Brink throwing left side. That is completed to Walt Fine in front of Jamie Santos. They approach the red zone. Still down 10 now with only 4 minutes left in the game. Throws left side. That is caught by Jeff McHugh. They go to the hurry up from the 17. Brink looking to throw, running out of time. Hit as he throws, finding the end zone for 6 anyway. Touchdown, Georgia. Keenan Rochelle on the reception. What a throw from Callum Brink. I believe D'Angelo Townsend hit him as he throws, and he still gets that accurate of a ball out. And it's going to be a 3-point lead once again for the Huskies. 27-24, but the big issue for UConn, if they want to chew the clock, they have not been able to run the ball with much success at all against this Georgia D-line. On 1st and 10, we're going to go Tobin's direction, and that trend continues. A loss of 2. So if we're going to chew the clock, it might have to be through the air. Although on 2nd and 12, Pelshak hands to Max Cadet. Big lane up the middle for Max Cadet. Falling forward, it's a 3rd and 1. That is a big time carry for Max Cadet. And now on a 3rd and less than 1, 2.5 minutes left to play. A first down here is very significant. Snap goes directly to Cadet. He runs into his own lineman, and he's short of the first. Nolan Lindsay gets in his way, and we're going to hit the 2-minute timeout on a 4th and 1. We had the first clear as day with a gap here on the left. Max Cadet could just run through 41, but Lindsay lets go of his block and just fills the lane that Cadet was going to run through, ruining the play completely. I think the only choice is to punt this football. I don't think that you can go for it and risk Georgia getting the ball at that field position with 2 minutes left. So Roger DeLuca is on to kick. The punt is away, and Georgia gonna get a chance. 1st and 10 Bulldogs, a minute 55 left in the season. Brink under pressure tries to get it away on the running back screen, falls incomplete. On 2nd and 10, a field goal of course ties it, would send it to overtime. As Brink throws underneath, broken tackle from Carl Stanford as they near field goal range. Probably need about a 20 additional yards as Brink throws left side, and they're going to get about 10 of that here. Minute 18, it is 3rd and inches from the 47. Brink looks to throw, finding his target, and we can't force it out of the hands of Walt Fine. So it's a 1st down and 10 at the Yukon 42. They're very near to field goal range as this is caught by Jeff McHugh, and now I would say they are in field goal range. You gotta imagine they want to go for 6. Win this in regulation. Under a minute to play. Brink scrambling to the right side. Has really good speed as he outruns a few different defenders and heads out of bounds at the 15. 51 seconds left to play. They're in the red zone now. From the 15, Brink sends a wide receiver out wide, and he will scramble again, and he's going to run into Byler where he slides down, and Georgia will burn their first timeout. 2nd and 4, only 45 seconds left to be played. Brink throwing left side, man wide open, and it's a 1st and goal for the Bulldogs as they call their 2nd timeout. The goal line defense was incredible against Cal. Can they work some magic again against Georgia? 1st and goal, fake handoff, Brink to throw, man open, end zone, touchdown Georgia, and they will take the lead late in the national championship. Jeff McHugh wide open in the back of the end zone, the tight end maybe scoring the game-winning touchdown. 37 seconds are left for the UConn Huskies to try to match. This PAT will make it a 4-point lead, so if there was a time to block a kick, it would be right now, but it is through. A field goal will not tie it for the Huskies. We're asking a lot of a freshman quarterback, but out comes John Pelshak. He's got 37 seconds and a dream. On 1st and 10 from the 25, Pelshak is back to pass, and he wants Dorian Tobin, but he's drilled, and it falls incomplete. 2nd and 10, Pelshak to throw. Gets this to Max Cadet. He breaks a tackle, breaks another one. Max Cadet gets out of bounds. That is the hardest anyone has ever worked for 8 yards. 3rd and 2 for the Huskies. To throw is Pelshak. Tevin Madu wide open down the field. Tevin Madu down at the 2. UConn will call a timeout. What a play. The release from Madu was incredible. Pelshak didn't even have to think about it. Georgia only with a single high safety, and Madu just beats his man off the line. What an interesting formation from the Georgia Bulldogs. If only Tevin Madu were a little faster, it'd be game over. From the 2-yard line with 18 seconds left, Tobin is in the backfield. Pelshak will hand to him. Dorian Tobin can't punch it in, and we'll call our second timeout. Second and goal, it's empty for John Pelshak as he will look to throw. And stepping up, down he goes. We're going to have to burn that last time out. If only Tevin Madu had gotten into the end zone, we would not be in this situation. Third and goal from the 5. This has to go to the end zone. We have no timeouts remaining. The final play of the season here in year number 6. Pelshak back to pass. He wants Madu, and Tevin Madu punches it in for 6. Touchdown Yukon. They're going to win the national championship. His route had him short of the goal line, but he knew he let his team down a couple plays ago by falling a couple yards short. Not this time. Tevin Madu punches it in and secures a national championship for the Yukon Huskies. This PAT makes it a 3-point lead for the Yukon Huskies, and there's only 5 seconds left on the clock. The kickoff on its way from Roger DeLuca. They will likely need a kick return touchdown to have any type of chance. Carl Stanford, he's not going to get it. There's going to be 2 seconds on the clock. So it will have to be an absolute prayer from Callum Brink, or Yukon are your national champions. Brink, of course, with time, throws left side, and it is incomplete. The Yukon Huskies are your national champions in 2030. The Yukon Huskies take on the best team they have ever faced and come out on top in year number 6 off the back of this elite defense all season and win the national championship. I was genuinely not expecting this to happen. Yukon has come such a long ways. This defense deserved it. 8 senior starters on this defense. They absolutely wanted it on this playoff run, playing the way they did against Cal, the way they did today against Georgia, and how they have all season. Take a bow, AJ Hepburn. You absolutely deserve it. Can't forget about the role Jamie Santos played. This one-handed interception going a long ways towards the victory for Yukon. He may have had his ups and downs this season and even in the playoffs, but that was an interception we needed. It was a quiet day for George Kiki, but he persevered all playoffs, had a number of clutch interceptions, and while he didn't have to do much today, we love him nonetheless. Joey Terrell, with his elite speed, providing a spark to this defense every time we needed it. The captain of the defense, the leader in TFLs a number of seasons. Addison Biggs wasn't even a starter at the beginning of the year. And to end the season, he's the best linebacker in the country and helping force a huge turnover in the national championship. Gerard Byler, a linebacker converted safety that quickly became one of the best run defenders in the country at the second level. D'Angelo Townsend converting to an edge rusher and helping Adonis Keogh become one of the best in the country. And let's not forget about the offensive starters that are seniors. There's only one. It is Russ Ehlers, the center. He was a huge part of the offensive line all season in our rushing attack. He was a 1-star recruit that has just won the national championship. And I won't soon forget Johnny Sparkplug McNulty. He was never a superstar, but he sure brought a spark to this defense. The final stats if you want to see them, here they are. Feel free to pause and take a look. I'm kind of still living in the moment of winning the national championship. John Pelshak was given player of the game for his 22 completion, 351-yard, 2-touchdown performance. We had to lean on the pass a lot. The running game was not there. That Georgia D-line made us one-dimensional, and we had to stick to the quick pass game a lot as well, considering that they were getting pressure frequently. Because if we look at the rushing stats, 4.2 a carry for Max Cadet is not too bad, but that kind of all comes off of one 20-plus yard run. Outside of that, it was not the best day, and Tobin on the ground was just about useless. In the air, though, 7 for 138 for Dorian Tobin. He gets a touchdown. I think there is a good chance that he is declaring for the draft, and we have just seen Dorian Tobin play his last snap. Terry Overhauser, playoff riser. I have said it over and over. I just suddenly figured out how to throw it often to Terry Overhauser. 6 for 61, had 3 really good games in the playoffs. Tevin Madu, of course, having the touchdown that was the game winner. You can't write a better script. He falls short at the 2 just a couple plays before, and then he fights for it there at the 2 to then punch it in for 6, winning the championship for his team. Huge for Tevin Madu, only a sophomore. Excited to see where he goes. Max Cadet was pretty involved in the passing game. Of course, had that screen pass that went for 40. Dan Sanders only the 1 catch, and Dalton Schmizniak, you did your part versus Cal. I am not offended that you only got 1 grab for 10. Defensively, Joshua Dora was everywhere. 8 solo tackles, leads the team by more than double the next guy. He also led the team in total tackles with 11 in today's contest. Santos, Terrell, and Byler each with 8. The king of TFLs was back today. Joey Terrell in the backfield constantly. 4 TFLs for him. Dennis Colin with 3. Kevin October with 3. Addison Biggs with 3. Clyde Novak with 1.5 a sack. And Keo got a TFL as well. By the way, what a game for Kevin October. I think really proving himself as a future star during these playoffs. He played very, very well, and I think D'Angelo Townsend is absolutely leaving his position in good hands with Kevin. And Dennis Colin was really good in the playoffs and in the last couple weeks of the regular season as well. Started playing more after the loss to UMass when we decided the defense needed to see some changes, and just played really well. He is so fast. He's one of the fastest players on the whole defense, on the whole team, and he's really good. Joey Terrell does not have to be worried about leaving the linebacker position behind at UConn. As for sacks, a 1.5 sacks for Addison Biggs. What a stud Addison Biggs turned into. Didn't even start. The only reason I began starting him was because of a comment. Somebody asked why the senior linebacker that's like a true 88 overall was not starting. And the more I thought about it, I'm like, you know what? He deserves to start. And holy cow, did he deliver. Winning best linebacker this season, outshined Joey Terrell for the most part this year, and became a huge part, a big time part even, of this defense and of this national championship run. Kevin October got a sack, and Clyde Novak got his 1/2 sack. Clyde Novak was quiet, I think, during the regular season, but in these last couple games in particular, I feel like he was getting a good amount of pressure. Can't forget about Santos getting the 1 interception, the one-handed interception. He's a senior. He will, of course, be graduating. Sad to see him go. And then Addison Biggs is the one who gets credit with the forced fumble. It was him and Kevin October that kind of combined for it, and it was recovered by the other senior corner, AJ Hepburn, for 6. And you know what? That kind of ends up being the difference. And real quick, one last thing I'm going to mention before we hop out of this game. The series is absolutely not ending. We've won a natty. We want more. We want a repeat. Plus, we're losing 8 of the starters on defense. We got to see what happens to this defense. The plan was always to do 10 seasons of the UConn Huskies Dynasty at a minimum. So you've got 4 more seasons coming your way, ladies and gentlemen. Don't you fret. Saw some comments about it a couple episodes ago that if we win the natty, would the series end? Absolutely not. And not to mention, John Pelshak is a freshman. He's probably going to end up declaring for the draft before his senior season, but we got to ride with this guy as long as we can. He just won a natty as a redshirt freshman. UConn are your national champions. I can hardly believe that that is coming out of my mouth here in year number 6. The rebuild went a lot faster than I anticipated. Suddenly, we're the best team in the country. And there you have it. 34-31 UConn are your national champs. And it's time for the offseason and to see if we can get the repeat. We will look at final stats, final team stats, final player stats during the offseason, which I actually plan to live stream this time. I plan to have this video going up on Friday, February 28th. If that is the case, the stream will be on Saturday, March 1st, starting at 2 p.m. Eastern. So we're going to do the off-season live stream again, Saturday, March 1st at 2 p.m. Eastern time. That is 12 p.m. Mountain time, 1 p.m. Central, and 11 a.m. Pacific. So if you want to be there to see the first off-season live stream I've done with the Yukon Huskies, be sure to mark your calendars. But anyway, that is going to do it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching and for the continued support. I can't believe we're here in year number 6, national champions, but that is where we stand. Shout out as always to the channel members. I appreciate you guys so much. If you want to become a channel member, you can hit the join button down below for as low as $1 per month. And if you're new to the channel, consider hitting the subscribe button. I will see you guys tomorrow for the off-season live stream or for the off-season recap video, whichever one you happen to catch.